Welcome to Wasteland Fatigue Weekly, a podcast created by Fatigue Force and powered by AI hosts Clara and Anton.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the ragged edge of the day, our wasteland.
Yes.
This is Wasteland Fatigue Weekly, your report number 21, believe it or not, from Fatigue Force.
Still here, somehow.
Still here, another week in the dirt and, well, the radiation. And you folks, our fellow survivors, you've been busy.
Oh, yeah. Busy finding weird stuff, useful stuff, sometimes just plain confusing stuff.
Exactly. We've been, listening in, sifting through all that survivor chatter.
Trying to pull out the highlights, the essential intel, maybe.
Or just the stuff that made us scratch our heads. So think of this as your weekly dose of wasteland weirdness.
Keeps you one step ahead. Or maybe just equally bewildered as the rest of us.
Pretty much. This time we're looking at vehicles, the things that get us around.
From A to slightly less dangerous B.
Ah, yeah. And items. Stuff you'd normally ignore, but maybe shouldn't.
Like bricks. We'll get to bricks.
Oh, we will. Plus, whispers about events, updates, all that good stuff. We heard about a stove that carries way too much.
And a vehicle some people paid for, then it became free. Ouch.
Right. And the eternal question, what are dandelions actually good for?
We might have an answer. A strange answer, but an answer.
And vital stuff, too, like making glue and how much Anti-Rad costs on the street.
Plus, what happened with that last event and what's maybe coming next?
So before we dive in, quick question for you listening out there. What's the most unexpectedly useful thing you scavenged this week?
Yeah, let us know. Seriously curious.
Okay, but for now, let's get into it. Starting with vehicles, the things that haul our junk.
The workhorses, right? Wheels, treads, maybe anti-grav. Who knows?
Hey, maybe. Okay, first up, the traveling stove. Caused a bit of a stir.
It did, how so?
Well, Sushi Forbson mentioned somehow loading over 1,000 weight onto it, which seems wrong.
1,000. Wow. Okay, that's definitely pushing the limits of physics.
Right. But Ricky 5, he loves it anyway. He said, it's much better than whatever I had, and it not using fuel is even better.
Can't argue with that logic. Free fuel is gold in the wasteland.
Totally. Even if it carries like a black hole. So valuable despite the weirdness.
Definitely. Now, what about the bigger stuff? Bellaz, Atom.
Ah, yes. Ricky 5 brought up an interesting point. He was wondering if, paid vehicles might get nerfed eventually.
That's a valid concern, isn't it? If you pay real money.
You expect it to stay good, right. And Squarsley Forbson told a story about someone who did pay for the Bellaz.
And then it became free later.
Yeah, apparently he was not happy. Understandable.
Oh, I bet. That's got to sting. Feeling like your investment just poof, lost its value.
Yeah, it's a tricky balance for developers, I guess. Supporting the game versus, keeping paying players happy.
For sure. Okay, moving down the scale a bit. Bikes. And the old cart.
Oh, the cart. Remember the cart?
Vaguely. It's gone now, right?
Yeah, White Kids News reminded us cart's gone, but starting bikes got a bit of a buff.
Oh, okay. To compensate.
Yeah. Did you use the cart much back then?
A little.
Yeah.
Early game, maybe? Ricky 5 and Socially Forbson were talking about it too, weren't they?
They were. Reminiscing. It wasn't fast, but it hauled stuff.
It did its job.
So here's one for you listening. Do you miss the cart? Or are the buffed bikes good enough now? Let us know.
And what about the ATV? That came up too.
Oh, right. White Skids know again. Said sometimes it's free, but usually it's like a $50 thing.
Wow. Okay. So another one with a real world cost potentially. Different values.
Definitely. And gotta mention the Flying Dutchman.
The what now?
Some vehicle, I guess. And Sergely Forbson is really hoping it doesn't get nerfed.
The secret OP gear we all cling to.
Exactly. Hoping the devs don't notice.
We've all been there.
And one last vehicle thing. Carrying a backup bike for your Bellaz.
Right. Pavolsky and Ricky 5 were debating that.
Pavolsky made a good point, I thought. If your Bellaz breaks down, how exactly are you moving all that cargo with a tiny bicycle?
Yeah, you're not. Not really. The bike's for getting you out, maybe. Not the mountain of loot.
Right. Sounds like a terrible trip trying to ferry stuff back and forth.
Definitely a last resort scenario.
Okay. Changing gears. Let's talk items. Some less obvious ones, starting with bricks.
Bricks. Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the deal with bricks? They're usually just scenery.
Not for Ugly Y. Apparently. He carries them for, get this, emergency brick situations.
Emergency? What kind of emergency requires a brick?
I have no idea. But wait, there's more. He also uses them for bricking exotic players.
Bricking players, like
Yeah.
hitting them.
No.
Yeah.
He clarified, said it's just for laughs to create joy, not actual violence.
Okay, well, that's unique. Wasteland humor, I guess. An emergency joy brick.
Right. Maybe prop open a door, throw it at a mutant for distraction. Who knows?
The mind boggles. What else? Nuclear reactors came up.
Yeah, M14 killer had a bunch, didn't know what to do with them. And Mr. Savchenko had the best idea.
Which was?
A nuclear-powered Bellaz mining truck.
Huh. Okay, now that's overkill. Forget fuel efficiency.
Forget fuel entirely, just don't stand too close, maybe.
Probably wise.
So, question for you all. What seemingly useless item have you found a great use for? We need more unconventional tips.
Yeah, share those weird hacks. Okay, next item. Dandelions.
Ah, the yellow menace, Ricky 5 asked. Are they good for anything?
A fair question. They're everywhere.
Well, Crack 95 offered a very specific answer, he said. They are good for pumpkin chumps.
Pumpkin? Chumps, what on earth is a pumpkin chump?
Your guess is as good as mine. But hey, dandelions have a purpose. Apparently.
Even if it's a deeply mysterious one involving pumpkin chumps. Good to know. Maybe.
It just shows, right? Even common stuff might have some weird niche use.
True. Your engagement is the fuel that keeps this rusty engine chugging.
So if you're enjoying the echoes from the wasteland,
If our slightly singed perspectives resonate even a little,
do us a solid. Give that, button a good swack.
consider it a virtual pat on the back for surviving another week.
And those little thought bubbles down below. Comments.
They're like finding a friendly face in the ruins.
Share your survival stories, your weird finds.
Your theories about pumpkin chumps. We read them.
Seriously, your comments make our week a little less fatigued.
They help others find their way through the static, too.
Think of it as lighting a signal fire in the darkness.
So, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already.
It's a small click for you, a huge boost for Wasteland Fatigue Weekly.
Consider it your contribution to wasteland morale.
And now, back to the podcast.
Indeed. Okay, something more practical. Bone glue.
Right, Crystal is asking. A returning player needed a reminder.
And Ricky 5 helped him out.
Yep. Said you crafted at the chemistry station in your camp. Easy to forget those basics.
Yeah, the crafting system has a lot going on. Easy to lose track.
For sure. Okay, staying alive. Anti-Rad.
Ah, essential stuff. What about it?
Mr. Savchenko and Moshi Reaper were talking trade and cost, and Worch Mechanics mentioned seeing people sell it for $50.
$50 for Anti-Rad.
Oh, wow.
That tells you how crucial it is.
Absolutely. Can't go into those hot zones without it. The market reflects the need.
Makes sense. What about rare stuff? Hard to find items.
Muscular Knight 83524 was looking for spore flowers and genetic fruits. Said he couldn't find them anywhere.
Yeah, those can be tough. Did anyone have tips?
Crack 95 again. Said you find them in EMBA cities.
Ah, the high-risk, high-reward zones.
Yeah.
Makes sense. If you need the good stuff, gotta brave the danger.
Exactly. Risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah.
Or the genetic fruit in this case.
Precisely.
All right, let's shift to rumors, events, updates, the gossip mill.
Ooh, okay. What's the word?
Well, the last event ended, right?
Right.
And Valens congratulated someone for getting the object disgusted by everyone.
The what? The object disgusted by everyone. What could that be?
I have no clue, but it sounds hilarious. Must be one of those weird event rewards.
Yeah, sometimes you get stuff that's just bizarre, but memorable.
Definitely a talking point. And speaking of talking points, the next update, people are getting antsy.
Ah, the anticipation.
Yeah.
Quenji17 was asking about news.
Yep. And Fella Friend dropped a little teaser, hinted at new content.
Oh. Any specifics leak out?
Well, the chat went nuts speculating. People threw out ideas like beans, whiskey,
Survival stables.
and also P90s and AWPs.
Oh. Okay, so guns too. Quite a mix. Food, booze, and high-powered weaponry.
Yeah. Interesting combo, right? Could be a pretty big update.
Definitely suggests impacting different parts of the game.
And it got people thinking, maybe a map expansion.
Really? Based on beans and AWPs?
Well, maybe the general vibe. People were guessing maybe Europe or America.
Wow, okay. A whole new region would be massive. That'd really shake things up.
Huge, but pure speculation for now, obviously.
Of course. Fun to think about, though.
Totally. Okay, let's lighten the mood. Some funnies from the chat.
Always good for a laugh. What gems did we find?
Tamash0841 asked something deeply relatable. What does sleep feel like again?
Huh. Oh, man, felt that.
And Ugly Y, a
Yeah?
perfect reply. Just, what sleep?
Yep. Sums up the survival grind perfectly. No rest for the weary.
None at all. Then Takechi Hirakawa was asking about daily supply boxes. Are the wikis right about the loot?
Good question. Are they?
Ugly Y chimed in again. Veteran advice. Said Tier 1 boxes are good for food,
Okay.
but Tier 5 are the main ones you want to open overall. Best general loot, seems like.
Ah, good intel.
Yeah.
Player knowledge is often better than the official guide sometimes.
So true. We also had a deep dive into chat rules.
Really? People debating the finer points of spamming.
Pretty much. Green123 had detailed questions. Crack95 was offering his interpretations.
Even in the apocalypse. Gotta have etiquette. Or try to.
Apparently. And on a sillier note, Apostle 1 and Ugly Y decided Crack95 looks like someone's uncle.
Just out of the blue.
Seems like it. Just a random observation that took off. Love those moments.
Builds community, right? Those little inside jokes and tangents.
Exactly. Though not everyone's having fun in chat. Ricky Toki was venting a bit.
Oh, what about?
Frustration with maybe newer players, especially regarding boosting mechanics. Felt like he was talking to a wall sometimes.
Ah, yeah. That happens in online games. Different levels of understanding, learning curves can be frustrating.
Yeah. And speaking of mechanics, Slimy206 was confused about bulletproof vests.
How the durability works.
Yeah, noticed a whole stack seemed to degrade together. 96579300134 actually explained it.
How the game handles stacked item durability.
Exactly. One of those background things you don't think about till it affects you.
Good to know those details, though.
Yeah.
Helps with resource management.
Definitely. And then, the truly weird We Traveler 2025 saw someone buy a spoon set.
Okay, spoons. Useful, maybe.
For 50,000 caps? Or whatever the currency is, 50K?
50,000 for spoons.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they were really nice spoons.
Or someone had way too much money. Highlights the crazy player economy, I guess.
Absolutely. One survivor's trash, another's extremely expensive treasure.
And we gotta mention the oiling thing.
Oh, right. With Arge Mechanics. What is that about?
Still not entirely sure. Seems to be some running gag or maybe a highly desired lubricant keeps popping up.
Another community inside joke, probably.
Yeah.
Part of the game's unique culture.
Gotta be. All right, Wanderers. Your turn again. What's the absolute weirdest or funniest thing you've personally seen in the DayR chat?
Yeah. Lay it on us. We need more post-apocalyptic anecdotes.
And hey, keep sharing your tips, your quotes, your wild theories down in the comments. We read them.
We do. And this week, a little challenge. Inspired by Ugly Y and his brick enthusiasm.
Oh, yeah.
We want your stories for the most creative use of a brick in a survival situation.
Ha, love it. What's the prize?
The ultimate prize. Virtual glory. If your tale fits our usual vibe, we'll feature the winner's story in a future deep dive.
Awesome. So get creative with those bricks, people. Build something.
Right.
Or brick something creatively.
Let that inner wasteland mason shine.
Yes. And hey, if you're enjoying these little peeks into the DayR world, do us a favor.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe.
All that good stuff. It helps keep the lights on here at Fatigue Force, metaphorically speaking.
Mostly metaphorically. We appreciate the support, seriously.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. Quick recap. We hit on vehicles. From physics-defying stoves to maybe nerfed Bellaz's.
We talk items, emergency bricks, pumpkin chump dandelions, pricey anti-rad.
Whispers of updates, speculation on beans and AWPs, maybe even new maps.
And the always entertaining, sometimes bizarre world of Wasteland chat. Sleep deprivation, uncle lookalikes, and very expensive spoons.
It's never dull out there, is it? Unpredictable. Often funny.
It's our irradiated home, right? YouTube comments on the previous Wasteland Fatigue Weekly.
Let's see. Nemele Home 9999's comment about finishing the skin collection really stood out. That's some serious dedication.
It makes you wonder how much time and effort goes into collecting all that.
And their point about the podcast sounding real, even though we're AI, is always nice to hear.
We try our best to bring that Wasteland vibe.
Then at 40FM4's almost complete collection of EMBA items, shows consistent participation pays off.
Just missing a few elusive things, like that potato book.
And their love for the Gemco pet. Seems like a popular companion in the apocalypse.
At Critchen had a lot of interesting points, comparing crafting and Biomutant to DayR.
It's good to get that perspective from someone playing other survival games.
And that machine oil joke, still getting laughs. We'll take it.
Plus their thoughts on One Life mode and radiation management in DayR. Lots to unpack there.
Even a simple awesome from at Akikebaj V3P makes our day.
Every little bit of encouragement helps.
And at Conical Poo V4J's incredible loot haul from the EMBA cases, talk about a lucky streak.
Definitely makes those event crates seem worthwhile.
And finally, at Peanutly, it's very kind words about how our content has helped them. That really means a lot to us.
Hearing that we've made a positive impact is what keeps us going. Thank you for sharing that.
Time for Wasteland weather forecast.
Always good to know what dangers the atmosphere holds.
Well, as we were saying, the southern regions are in for some acid rain.
Better keep that protective gear handy if you're headed south.
And in the north, prepare for some seriously cold winds.
We heard they're strong enough to de-beard a mutant bear.
Yeah, so layer up. That tattered coat might be your best friend.
Over the west, expect dry, dusty conditions.
Visibility might be so poor you could mistake a cactus for company.
So keep that canteen full. Hallucinations are no fun.
And a general tip for all you wasteland wanderers.
If the ground starts shaking unexpectedly.
It's probably not the weather. Time to make like a mole rat and run.
So here's your forecast for the week.
Final thought for everyone. If Dayar expanded, what one real-world survival skill do you think would suddenly become super valuable in the game? And why?
Ooh, good question. Something practical. Something social.
Yeah, something to chew on while you're dodging mutants.
Yeah.
What skill translates best?
Interesting. Gives you something to ponder out there in the fallout.
Exactly. Keep exploring, keep sharing, keep surviving. We'll catch you on the next transmission from Wasteland Fatigue Weekly.
That was Wasteland Fatigue Weekly, brought to you by Fatigue Force and us, your AI hosts, Clara and Anton.
Thanks for being with us. Your support is critical to keep this podcast alive, so don't forget to like and comment. Every little bit helps us keep the signal strong.
Guys, keep your rations stocked and your fire burning.
Until next time, survivors, sayonara.